Welcome, everyone, to the John R. Wooden Gymnasium. It is Martinsville Artesian Volleyball here on WREP 15 Sports in Mid-State Conference play. Martinsville and Mooresville, not only a Mid-State Conference matchup, but a county rivalry. Martinsville 16-9 on the campaign, and the Pioneers come in 8-16. Let's listen to the starting lineups for the Mooresville Pioneers.
Number 7, Olivia Keller. Number 8, Corinne Cowder. Number 10, Addie Schaefer. Number 16, Hannah Stanton. And your libero, number 4, Emma O'Connor. And we would like to welcome our visiting coach. The head coach for the Mooresville Pioneers is Danielle Davis. Now for your Lady Artesians. Number 6, Katie Tomlinson. Number 8, Macy Dorset. Number 9, Grace Reynolds. Number 10, Mackenzie Martin. Number 12, Emery Carter. Number 17, Ella Whitney. And your libero, number 1, Molly Urban. Now, if everyone would join me, please rise, take off your hat, look to the center of the court, and up for the singing of our national anthem.
And we are back here at the John R. Wooden Gymnasium. I'm Eric Meyer, joined tonight in the broadcast booth by Martinsville High School Assistant Principal Ryan Wagner. So Ryan having an opportunity to come up here and join us tonight for some Mid-State Conference volleyball, and this should be a pretty good matchup between Martinsville and the Mooresville Pioneers.
Well, not only is it a great matchup, but it's got a lot going for it right now. We're looking at a matchup that's going to determine whether or not the Martinsville takes home a share of the Mid-State Conference title. Tonight, Plainfield is taking on Whiteland. Plainfield also the other team that is in contention for the Mid-State title, and so we'll be kind of wanting to see how that one turns out, and hopefully Martinsville takes care of business here tonight.
The Artesians on the floor. You get a look at Ella Whitney, who's played well. A strong junior class for the Artesians. Ella joined by Grace Reynolds and Mackenzie Martin. Those are the three that lead the way for the Artesians, but certainly not all for head coach Kayla Back. You'll have the sophomores in Molly Urban and Macy Dorset, and also Emery Carter starting right now. Mix in Katie Tomlinson, who's in there. Also, Katie Wong comes in too. So Martinsville and Mooresville getting contributions all over the court. And the Pioneers start strong with the rocket serve. And they're up 1-0 here early on.
Martinsville comes in tonight, ranked by Max Preps at 32nd in 4A, Class 4A in the state of Indiana. Mooresville ranks 79th.
Mackenzie Martin from the back row on the attack from Grace Reynolds. Tomlinson can't quite control it, and the Mooresville Pioneers here are in the early going, up 2-0. Now the sectional draw came out. And the Martinsville Artesians, if you were going to draw up how the sectional draw, you wanted it to come out, it came out well for the Artesians because the two favorites, Bloomington South and Columbus East, not only play each other in round number 1, they are also in the opposite side of the bracket. So Martinsville would not have to see either one of those teams until the sectional championship. So a good draw for head coach Caleb Ack, and Martinsville will try to take care of business as they also got the bye in that as well. So good all around. About time that Martinsville had a good draw in some sort of a tournament, and that one definitely favored the Artesians. And so we'll see what they're able to do with it. They, of course, faced Bloomington South last week, a very, very good Bloomington South team. Martinsville did fall 3-0, but very, very close in that matchup against Eugene Kim's ball club. We're 2-2 here. Macy Dorsett on the attack block. Now the Pioneers coming, and Molly Urban doing what she does very well. Let's get in some digs, and then Mackenzie Martin likewise doing what she does well with the kills. 3-2, the Artesians lead it.
Molly comes into the match tonight leading the team in digs, so you're right on there, Eric, with spot on. And Molly is a key player on this team.
The Pioneers trouble with serve receive. They'll go on the attack from the back row. Martinsville also trouble there handling it. Mackenzie Martin, the roll shot over, and here come the Pioneers. A good opportunity on the outside. Now the Artesians to return. Reynolds, back set, Macy Dorsett off block. The Pioneers can't get to it, and Martinsville now up 4-2. Grace Reynolds honored in between the last contest here at Martinsville High School for her 2,000th career assist, and that came against a very good, very small school in Trinity Lutheran, but a very talented ball club in Trinity Lutheran back on September 12th, and she's since racked up more since then, but has done a fantastic job in all 3 years here for Martinsville High School. Mackenzie Martin hammers it home again, 5-2, Martinsville out in front. And they're getting it done on the serve of Grace Reynolds. Be a violation on the Artesians, so the Pioneers will get the side out.
If you haven't had a chance to follow the Artesians this year in volleyball, started out on a tear. Since about September time, it's been a little bit of like about 500. They kind of get some streaks going, some wins here, and some streaks, some losses, and then it's been a little bit of back and forth here in the last couple of weeks.
That serve goes out. Get a look there at the sophomore, Molly Urban. And Mackenzie Martin back to serve now for the Artesians. And the Pioneers with the serve receive error. And again, Mackenzie will go back to serve. Martinsville out in front, 7-3 here. Set number 1. The Artesians will be back in action Thursday night against Terre Haute South. We'll have that game for you here on WREP 15 Sports and the MHS Rewind YouTube channel. Live stream at about 6:45. Emily Jones down the line, returned by the Pioneers. And the Artesians can't get to it, so Mooresville will get the side out. And if we watch the couple of matches that we've done this season, Emily Jones coming in on her rotation has done a nice job really hitting the ball here in the past several games that we've done. Martinsville set middle that time, Emery Carter, and it's saved by the Pioneers. They'll try again, middle this time to Macy Dorsett, and she'll get the tip down for the kill for the Artesians, 8-3. But what Emily's done really well is hit it down the line. They've brought blocks over toward her, so instead of trying to hit off block or around block, she's kind of hit it down the line. And the Pioneers, though, were right there the first time to cover it. So we'll see how they do it the rest of the match. Pioneers on the attack long, and it's a 9-4 Martinsville advantage. We'll get the score updated here. 9-5 now. Or 10-4, excuse me. Get it straight.
Caught the line. Good for Martinsville.
Set middle that time, and the Artesians' Ella Whitney hammers it home. 12-4 the score.
Ella comes in tonight with a 41.2% kill percentage, second best on the team of those with over 15 or 20 or so kills on the season. Ella again with the kill.
Combination for the Artesians there in the middle, where they've really been able to utilize her as a middle hitter. Also her blocking ability, very athletic. It's a picture in the Reporter Times that Melissa Dillon took, and she's going up for an attack, I believe, against the Bloomington South, if I've got the game right. And she elevates pretty well. Obviously a very good athlete, a UK commit in softball, and really that athletic ability has come out here for the Artesians on the volleyball court. Looks like she's more comfortable with what they want her to do, and so she's really been performing well for the Artesians, and that middle hitting ability has really helped Martinsville here in some of these matches, especially against some of these athletic teams that they've played as of late, Bloomington South, the Avon squad as well. So hopefully they can continue that play. Like we said, that core set of juniors has been very, very good for the Artesians this season. But the two sophomores out there a lot, too, not too shabby either. As you get one right there on cue, Macy Dorsett blocking that down at the net, and then the other one, Molly Urban, will go back to serve as well. So really everybody playing well for both squads here. That time the Pioneers get it down. 17-5 the score now. So Martinsville in control here in set number one in this Mid-State Conference match, with the winner, if Martinsville should win, clinching at least a tie of the Mid-State crown. And there again, Ella Whitney hanging in the air that time. And if you follow the Artesians, probably used to seeing that out of Mackenzie Martin on the attack, hanging in the air and that ability to hammer it home. But you've really started to see it, like we talked about, a little bit more out of Ella, getting that timing down as well, and that will just make Martinsville even more dangerous as the tournament comes, because a lot of teams have really moved their defense to defend Mackenzie Martin. And when you have a team that you may face in the sectional like Bloomington South that really does a great job in blocking, the more you can move it around, the better. That time on the slide to Ella Whitney. So you've really kind of seen her in a couple of different instances. You saw her in the middle. You just saw her from the back row coming to the middle, and there on that slide from Grace Reynolds. Emily Jones again trying to hit kind of down line at an angle, and it'll go out, and it'll be to the Mooresville Pioneers again. So 18-8 the score here. First set, John R. Wooden Gym on a Tuesday night, Mid-State Conference matchup. Again, the slide to Whitney. The block that time by the Pioneers. They keep control of it, but we'll have to just volley it over. Katie Wong, Reynolds, all the way outside to Emily Jones, and they're there for the block. Pioneers hit it long. Side out Artesians. And so Martinsville will try to at least go for that 2-for-1 here. So you get the point on the side out, and they'd like to get at least another point here off of this serve. Jones back to serve, 19-8 the score. Pioneers on the outside. Nice attack there by the Pioneers. Addie Schaefer. Emma O'Connor on the serve now for the Pioneers. Blocked down. And again, blocked down at the net, and Martinsville will get the point here.
Well, Eric, I think they said that she reached over the net.
Okay, so it'll be point to the Pioneers for Emma O'Connor. Now, pretty sure that Emma's older brother is Tommy, and the Martinsville football team will be very familiar with him tomorrow night, or on Friday night when they play. And I'm following the family lines here. I believe they are cousins to Will Nix. So, pretty sure that's the connection there. Little Martinsville history, or Morgan County, I guess. Genealogy, is that the correct term there? Maybe, I don't know. 20-11 the score here, though.
Whatever it is, Eric, they're all good athletes, I can tell you that.
They are, absolutely. Speaking of good athlete, Ella Whitney back to serve for the Artesians. Like we said, the UK commit in softball. And the Artesians there at the net. Not sure who got that, but it may have been Anna Foley. If not, it was Mackenzie Martin. They're up there also with Grace Reynolds as Martinsville's up 21-11. Pioneers save it. The bump set, and Emma O'Connor will help it over. Grace Reynolds quickly on the setter attack. Nice dig by O'Connor. Again, Grace on the setter attack, and the little dump is what they'll call it sometimes. And the third time's the charm that time by Reynolds. I guess that was more an attack there. And we've talked about it if you've listened to our broadcast when we started doing games. When Martinsville won the state title back in 1996, it was Christy Burns, the coach's daughter, now Christy Prosser, who kind of made that famous. And how I grew up learning a little bit about volleyball was by sitting in my office at the Reporter-Times listening to the head coach, the legendary Carol Burns, tell me about what they did and what some of these things are called. I'm sure the terminology has changed a little bit. The athletes have definitely gotten better here, and the play has changed a lot because it was used to be side-out scoring instead of the rally scoring. But volleyball, very exciting contest, and Martinsville has always played it at a high level here at the high school, and you're seeing it played at a high level here tonight for Martinsville as they look to try to clinch at least a share of the Mid-State Conference crown here.
You saw a couple points ago, Mackenzie with the kill, and boy, I like watching her just hammer that ball. She hits it so hard, Eric.
And Martinsville on the ace to get the win here in set number 1. So we will take a break from the John R. Wooden Gym. It's Martinsville Artesian Volleyball and Mid-State Conference action against the Mooresville Pioneers. We'll have set number 2 in just a moment.
Don't do that.
Work can be overwhelming.
School can be overwhelming.
I don't feel like I do enough at home.
I don't feel like myself at home.
I don't know if I'm making the right choices for my future.
I have no idea what to do with my future.
I have anxiety.
I get so depressed. I just wish someone could understand.
We may be your parents.
But we've been in your shoes.
And we fought the same battles.
No matter what you're facing,
we're here for you.
And you're not in this alone.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
Come back here, and we are getting ready for the second set. Want to first take this opportunity, and while we're getting ready for the second set, to introduce our student camera crew tonight. We have Braxton Dilly. I can't quite say Eric. Who's the
Elias Elsner.
Elias Elsner.
Yep.
As always, our student crews do an amazing job with our productions here, just like Mr. Meyer does. We're lucky to have him.
Well, thank you, and we'll get ready to go here in set number 2. Martinsville will start it off. It'll be Grace Reynolds on the serve. And a good way to start it. 1-0 here. Martinsville up 1-0. Mid-state conference matchup, like we said, if the Artesians can get the win tonight, they'll clinch at least a share of it. The Mid-state conference crown. We're waiting on a Plainfield outcome, I think. 2-0 Martinsville on in front.
Once again, Plainfield facing Whiteland tonight. Whiteland has an 8-17 record. Probably not a whole lot of hope there that they'll be able to pull it out, but you never know.
Artesians, of course, beating the Quakers here earlier in the season in pretty sound fashion. Kenzie Martin a little bit long there. Early on, it was our first live stream volleyball match that we had done, and it was a good one for the Artesians against a very athletic Plainfield club. Martinsville had everything going. Corin Calgar will serve now for the Pioneers. Reynolds to Mackenzie Martin. That's blocked, but will be blocked out. Point Artesians.
Once again, great dig there by Molly Urban.
Substitution for Martinsville. Number 11, Emily Jones, and for number 6, Katie Tomlinson, now serving. Number 10, Mackenzie Martin.
So Mackenzie Martin will get some direction from Caleb Ack. Tells her to move it all the way over here, and then they tell them where they want it served. Reynolds back set to Macy Dorsett, and she'll get it down in between the block and the net. 4-1. So the Pioneers get the block over there, but not close enough, and so Dorsett able to hit it off block and get it straight down in between the blockers and the net for the point. And Mackenzie Martin back to serve. A little float serve off the net. And it looks like we'll get a violation for the Pioneers, so another point for the Artesians, 5-1. So a great start for Martinsville here in set number 2. Already up 1-0, 25-11. They were winners, as you see in the upper left-hand corner in that first set. And the float serve there this time, unable to get it down, so it'll be 5-2 the score. Addie Schaefer back to serve now for the Pioneers. The 5'10 outside hitter for Danielle Davis. And substitutions in the lineup now. Emery Carter, Ella Whitney, And Emory will go back to serve now. Like we said, we talked about the junior class and the 3 juniors. We mentioned Emory, but she doesn't get as much court time as some of those other sophomores, but has been very important as well. Is right on cue, another sophomore, and a great attack there by Macy. And looked like she was going to get a big swing at it, but instead just kind of pushed it off the block and got it down for the point. So the ability to recognize what you need to do as a hitter is key. And what is such a lost thing on a lot of people is the fact that Grace Reynolds puts those kids in such great position to be able to make those plays and read those things. She does here. It gives Macy a chance to be able to attack. Grace on the slide to Ella Whitney, goes off block, and so a nice timing that time by the Pioneers. And, if you've watched Martinsville, scouted them a little bit, you know that they like to go to Ella on that slide depending on where she is in the rotation, and so they were right there for the block. And then they moved Ella that time. The bump set to the outside, and Macy Dorsett unable to get that over. So the Pioneers strung a couple of points together. 7-5, set number 2. Molly, nice bump up to Grace Reynolds, and there's that setter attack, or really the dump that you talked about, where she goes up like she's going to set it, but instead just pushes it over the net and takes advantage of the spacing there that the Pioneers are in.
Just a little bit part of that strategy of, put all those sets in the air, and they kind of get used to seeing that, and they weren't expecting that little dump that they put over the net.
Point there by the Pioneers, so 8-6. Katie Wong will check into the lineup, and back to serve for the Pioneers will be Addie Falkenberg. Timing pretty good there to Ella Whitney, and Ella hammers it in.
Substitution for Martinsville, number 6, Katie Thomason, and for number 11, Emily Jones. Now serving for Martinsville, number 6, Katie Thomason.
So back now to Katie Thompson. Get that switch there a little bit late, my apologies. Roll shot by Mackenzie Martin. The Pioneers with an opportunity here on the attack. Nice diving attempt by Molly Irvin, but can't quite get to it, and that'll be a point to the Pioneers. Olivia Keller back to serve. Reynolds, quick back set to Ella Whitney, and Ella with another kill.
A little confusion there with the Pioneers, letting that one drop. Nice kill there again by Mackenzie Martin. If you're just joining us, Artesians took the first set in pretty convincing fashion. Second set here now, Artesians in the lead. A little bit of a closer battle in this set than we saw in the first. Pioneers struggling there to handle the serve from Grace Reynolds. See if Artesians here can start to pad that lead. Timeout, Mooresville. Kind of a crucial point here in this set. Artesians starting to get a little bit of momentum. Our Pioneers obviously want to try to stop that and keep that point spread from getting any bigger. We're going to interview you after the set.
Yeah, 13-8. We're having a conversation here with our girls basketball and girls softball coach Dave Dorsett, and Ryan Wagner wanted to interview him. He said absolutely not, and then he was complimenting on how great of a job we did with getting our color commentator tonight. He thought we really outkicked our coverage, and if so to speak. Maybe he didn't put it that way, but
well,
that's all right.
Dave's a little upset. I like to point out, the fact that he doesn't ever seem to be doing anything.
He is. I did see that those bleachers, that particular row of bleachers at time, looked like it was trying to get up and move at some point. So he's doing a good job of making sure that it's not going anywhere right now. 13-9 the score. Kenzie Martin, back middle. She'll hammer that in. Great timing by the Artesians there. Again, Grace Reynolds setting up Mackenzie Martin, and they will set her to the back row. You don't see that a ton, but when you have people that are that athletic and that good on the attack, you might as well go with it. And Mackenzie's been a huge weapon all season long for the Artesians, but they're starting to build some little bit more weapons like we talked about. Macy Dorsett around a couple of kills a set right there as well. Blocked that time, but you see her going to her that time. Also, Ella Whitney had a couple kills per set as well. But the main weapon for the Artesians, as it has been the majority of the season, has been Mackenzie Martin, averaging about 5 kills per set. 36% kill percentage. Again, that dump there by Grace Reynolds, and the Pioneers can't return it. And now Molly Urban will go back and serve for the Artesians. In the middle. That'll go long. The Artesians there with the attack. Well, at least somebody's listening to the broadcast. We can say that right now. As Dave Dorsett, he did get up and do something. Dave's a good guy. It'll be a good job when he takes over the girls' basketball team and also the softball team as well. He'll see some of these same athletes out on the court and the field. Grace Reynolds goes middle. Timing was off a little bit, but that's just kind of that, that athleticism, the coordination there by Ella Whitney. The set a little bit wide, but she was able to go to the left hand and still get the attack in. Speaking of the attacks, it's been Molly Urban's serve that have gotten Martinsville some points. A nice bump there on the slide to Ella. Dug by the Pioneers. Emma O'Connor runs it down, and now they'll have to volley it over. Again, nice bump. Reynolds right back middle. The timing off a little bit, but when things are going well, going where, and there's Dave's daughter, Macy, right there with the kill. And Natalie, excuse me, I knew I was going to do that one of these times. Molly on the serve. Her mom, Natalie Urban, dad, Daniel. Back set to Dorsett. She'll just kind of push around block, but I think that went wide, but they gave it to the Artesians.
I believe it caught the line.
Yep. So Molly Urban back to serve. 20-10 the score. Martinsville up 1 match to none.
Do you think Molly would find it a compliment or insult that you called her by her mom's name?
Sure, a compliment. I'm sure it's happened before. Right now, she probably doesn't really care. She's served really well. 21-10 is the score. I'm sure Mom was part of that 96 state championship team and then won some couple of state championships in basketball as well here on the John R. Wooden Gym hardwood. Kill by Emily Jones and Martinsville cruising in this one right now, 22-10. So you're going to have, hopefully if everything plays out right, you're going to have a third set where you really dominated, and you hope that you can come out and continue the domination in set number 3 here against the Mooresville Pioneers as you're warming up, getting ready for sectional play that begins next week. For that, they'll have one more match. It'll be the Terre Haute South Braves as they come to town. On Thursday night, we'll have the live stream for you at 6:45 about on WRAP 15 Sports, the MHS Rewind YouTube channel. So as the analyst here, you were supposed to be keeping track of when she came on serve. And I don't remember. So she served a lot of points, though, in a row. I believe maybe it was 14-10
yeah,
or maybe
it was
13.
back when the game was still pretty tight.
Yep.
And it's just been getting busted pretty wide open here with Molly serving.
And then the block right behind by Anna Foley. Emily Jones team up right there, the pair of seniors. And Martinsville wins it 25-10 here in set number 2. We will take another break, come back with set number 3. You're watching Martinsville Artesian Volleyball on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel.
13,000 feet has a way of testing a man's soul. After all, you were never meant to take on such an endeavor. That long drop is what separates human from superhuman. And here we are, right here, right now.
You're good at motivation, we're good at your insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
When you hit that water, you're going to want to look for weeds, sunken structures, down trees, stuff like that. And let that breeze tell you where you want to go. Windy days like this, those bait fish will come swimming closer to shore. They'll bring the big boys with them, those bass and those pike. Now, they like cooler temperatures, so you ain't likely to have much luck.
You're good at giving fishing advice. We're good at your insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
Back here at the John R. Wooden Gymnasium as we get set for set number 3. It'll be Martinsville and Mooresville Pioneers. The Artesians really dominated this, 25-10, 25-11 in the first.
And setting up to be a quick evening here, Eric. I don't know if you keep records for fastest matches or not.
No.
We may be competing with that.
No, I do remember, though, and this may not mean a whole lot in the grand scheme of things, but I do remember back in 1996, because I have the tape, we played Shelbyville, and that was when, obviously, the state championship team. It was a 39-minute match. That was with, like, an intro and an outro as well, and it was a pretty dominating performance, which turned out to be state champions. That was the end of a great run. It was led by Carol Burns, the head coach. They had the team, and Carol had 2 state runners-up the previous years against when it was one class. They had a couple of Division I players and her daughter, Christy Burns, now Christy Prosser, and then Heather Wright, now Heather Devon as well, that were just outstanding. But they weren't alone. We talked about it. Molly Urban's mom was on that squad, and Courtney Cooper was there. Some of the people that I remember, Leslie Deaton as well, some names that you aren't familiar with. I'm sure maybe you've heard around, but that people that are Martinsville Artesians that have been around here for a long time will recognize those names, because not only were they parts of that volleyball team, they were also parts of that basketball team that won as well. And it was just a fantastic season. If you look up on the banners here at the John R. Wood Gymnasium for the girls, back in 1996, you have girls golf, you have volleyball. As well, you have a girls basketball 1997. Well, that was the 96-97 season. So it was a fairly good year there for Martinsville High School athletics.
I would say it was a good decade for the 90s,
Yeah.
especially for girls sports here in Martinsville.
Absolutely.
It's always fun, Eric, hearing the history here. I'm a big fan of history, former history teacher, so I love hearing the history of Artesian sports and the school itself. So I do appreciate the history lesson here today.
2-1 the score. Martinsville lets it fly a little bit long. Now 3-1. Get a look there at Molly Urban. Then back to serve. Mackenzie Martin. I just got through telling Braxton to stay on the person he was on and not move off of him. And what did he do? Moved off of him. That's okay. That's how they learn. Braxton does a great job. Comes in and has done a fantastic job in our class and also on the football field this year. That'll go a little bit long. Kind of a surprise at tight end. Had a couple of touchdowns.
Well, Eric, he's probably taking a lot of hits this season, so I think we can cut him a break.
Yeah. And the same day, he anchored one of our newscasts and went out on the football field that night and caught a touchdown pass. So kind of teased him. All he does is anchor newscasts by day, catch touchdown passes by night. But that's kind of been his MO this season for the head coach Brian Duggar and the Artesian football team, who will play the Mooresville Pioneers on Friday night. That's a tough matchup against a very good Mooresville team and head coach Mike Gillen, who probably a little bit angry after getting beat by another really good squad in Whiteland on Friday night. 4-3 the score, and here comes Molly Urban back to serve, and I believe she reeled off 11 or 12 straight points from serve her last time. So we'll see maybe if she can do the same here. Set middle, and that time, though, the set a little bit low, and Ella goes into the net. 4-4 the score. Girls will be back in action Thursday night at home here in the John R. Wooden Gym against Terre Haute South. The Braves coming to town. The last match of the season, I believe, for the Artesians. I'm going to check their roster, their schedule. I can't think here. Mooresville doing something for the first time here tonight, and that's taking the lead by 2 points as well. But then sectional play will begin, and it's a good sectional like we talked about. Martinsville will get the kill there. It's Ella Whitney. But the Artesians got a fantastic draw. Make no mistakes about it. Yeah.
It's one of those things, Eric, where with those draws, you just never know what you're going to get. And sometimes you're on the bad end of those. You're one of the best teams in the sectional, and you get paired up against one of the other better teams. And I think you just mentioned that earlier. That's what Columbus East and Bloomington South is facing as they enter in the sectional play. And we got lucky this year, and that's okay. We like getting lucky. We'll take it.
Absolutely. The Artesians get the bye as well. It's a 7-team sectional, and with some of the alignments and the way things have gone, some of those sectionals are a little wonky, and that one's one of them. But Martinsville has 7 teams in it. Again, that dump there by Grace Reynolds, and it's 7-6, so Martinsville has pulled off some points here on the serve of Macy Dorsett, another sophomore this time, but that's sectional for the Artesians. Be on Saturday. The Artesians will get a play, but that'll be more than a week that they've been off. So, sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. Hopefully it'll be good for the Artesians. They draw the bye. They'll play the winner of Columbus North and East Central That's probably going to be a East Central win, but you never know. It's over in Columbus, and we'll see. Columbus North 7-18, East Central 15-8. If that East Central name sounds familiar, it should. That's the team that put the Artesian basketball team out of sectional last year. So some of these there on the attack that time. Some of these fans, I'm sure, remember that. Nice volley by both ball clubs, but I think Grace Reynolds kind of went under the net. A little bit of a laugh there out of the Artesians junior, but it'll be point for Mooresville, 8-8 the score. But the Artesians probably will get another crack at East Central, like we said, on the other half of the bracket. It's Columbus East and Bloomington South, and then Bloomington North, Bedford in the other match that's in the lower half of the bracket, 13-5, Bloomington North, and 14-10 B&L. So you may see another Bloomington South, Bloomington North matchup in that semifinal round, with the winner getting an opportunity, hopefully, to play the Artesians for a sectional championship. 9-9 the score now. Martinsville up 2-0. Pioneers' Emma O'Connor back to serve now. Reynolds all the way outside to Mackenzie Martin, and that timing there, awesome. And the Artesians hammer home the kill. Molly Urban going to the bench.
Reaching that point in the set here, where in the previous two sets, as it was pretty close from the beginning, and then Martinsville started to pull away in pretty convincing fashion. Let's see if they can start that here right now in this last one.
Pioneers trying to slide that time. Timing again off a little bit. Carter couldn't get matched up with Grace Reynolds, and the block that time by Grace, but it goes off block, and the Pioneers will get the point right back. So unlike the previous two sets where Martinsville was really able to get some 3, 4, 5-point runs, they have not been able to do that in this one. So the score close, 10-10. That's a little different. You don't always see Mackenzie Martin on the slide that time. It looks like maybe the rotations are a little bit different as well. So Mackenzie in that position still does what she does well. That's get kills. Leads the team in that category with nearly 5 per set. And got one there. Emma O'Connor on the return. And then Molly Urban on the little bump set that time. Reynolds up on the set outside Mackenzie Martin, and that's blocked down. So Mackenzie was trying to hit it down the line as well, and the Pioneers get the block. And back to 11 apiece. So both teams doing a really nice job here in the third set of preventing the other team from getting those big runs. As the two teams trade side outs. Let's see if Martinsville can get a couple of points here, run off. It'll be Mackenzie Martin back to serve. And probably nobody caught that, but I did. Mackenzie's dad, John, is down there doing the PA, and he about called her Madison, his other daughter. So that's okay. I'm sure she was probably so locked into the game that she didn't matter, didn't care. But he caught himself.
You see, Eric, you're not the only one
struggling with names. I'm not the only one
tonight.
struggling today with names, so I feel a little bit better about myself. But Mackenzie Martin back to serve. And the official coming in to check the rotations here. I believe this is the first time I've seen that all season.
Let's take a look over at the Mooresville side.
Yep.
Everything seems to be okay.
Yep. So we're set to go now. So the one official mask up, the other one not. And Emma O'Connor trying to go with the kick, and I think you can do that. Because I think we saw that in a match earlier this season. I think Mackenzie Martin was the one that did that. But I'm not sure.
It's probably not the preferred technique.
No. Yeah, so you can do it because according to the rules, it can touch any part of the body. So a kick will work. That's the beauty of the internet now. Ask a question and then type it in and get the serve. The point that time to the Pioneers. And sometimes those big rallies where a team gets the point spurs them on. And let's hope for Martinsville's sake that is not the case here. It's a 14-12 Martinsville lead here in set number 3. They're up 2-0, but this one much closer than the previous two. Urban to Reynolds, and a dump again by Grace. Right there in the middle. Great attack there by the Artesian setter. We said she was honored before the Bloomington South matchup for her 2,000th career assist, and continues to rock those and rack those assists up for the Artesians.
Once again, she just has a great sixth sense of knowing when's the right time to pull that little dump out. She keeps setting and setting and setting, and the opponents just get used to seeing that, and then they forget that she does that little dump move.
And then Ella Whitney getting a little bit of a workout. Maybe tell Coach Breach that she does not need to do any exercises tomorrow. Right there at the net. 3 swings at it, third time the charm for the Artesian junior. And again, it's Molly Urban on the serve, so see if Molly can serve it out. This is about where it was in the match in set number 2 when she came to serve and just didn't leave. And we're going to get a timeout. (17-12) here. Martinsville will play again on Thursday night at the John R. Wooden. About 6:45 when we'll come back on with our live stream, depending. We target 6:45, but it really depends on that JV match when that gets over, how long that goes before we come on. Sometimes earlier, sometimes later, but we'll have it for you here on Thursday night on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel. And then fall break for the kids next week. We'll be off until next Friday when Martinsville will wrap up the season against the Plainfield Quakers in football. So Molly Urban back to serve. Molly was on serve to get the Artesians the big one. That one's a little bit long. Served out the second set for the Artesians, and that time the Pioneers able to put a halt to it. So 17-13 the score here. That goes long. And Macy Dorsett now to serve. Macy keeps it alive. Reynolds runs it down. Emily Jones on a nice swing. Dug by the Pioneers, and they'll have to volley it over. Martins will have a good chance here at the attack. Reynolds again on the setter attack that time. Urban, Reynolds, middle, Ella Whitney, point Martinsville. Martinsville now closing in here. 19-13. Getting a serve receive error by the Pioneers, and Artesians right there with the chance. Outside, Emily Jones off block. Artesians there to cover it. like a net violation on the Pioneers. So Macy Dorsett back to serve, see if she can serve it out for the Artesians. 2013, Martinsville already up 2-0. I kind of jinxed her. We said Martinsville will be back in action Thursday night. Terre Haute South, Katie Tomlinson will help lead the Artesians there into their final match of the regular season before sectional play begins. Emily Jones on the serve. Off the net, still good. Emma O'Connor trying to go with a roll shot blocked by Ella Whitney. A nice swing that time on the outside by the Pioneers, Addie Schaefer. Emma O'Connor back to serve now for Mooresville. Martin hammers it. Nice dig by O'Connor. But the block there by the Artesians. Mackenzie Martin, Ella Whitney team up that time. And now Ella Whitney back to serve. Rocket served by Ella. Schaefer going around block that time. Reynolds back to Mackenzie Martin. She goes off block and point for the Artesians. Now Martinsville 2 points away from getting the win here in straight sets. Artesians trying to cover that, and I think everybody's okay. Kelsey Kirkpatrick almost took out the setter for the Artesians, Grace Reynolds, with that dig attempt there. Mackenzie Martin kind of just sets herself and then gets a roll shot there. Now Martinsville with the set point and match point coming up. Nice swing by the Pioneers on the outside. Reynolds, Urban, Martin, off block for the win.
Great point there by Grace Reynolds. She had that great dig there and that really hard kill shot, and then had that great set right across the court there to set that one up.
And the Artesians win it here tonight. They do it in straight sets, 25-11, 25-10, 25-16 over the Mooresville Pioneers. Ryan, appreciate you joining us here tonight.
It's always fun, Eric. See you next time.
All right, Martinsville with the win here tonight in straight sets over the Mooresville Pioneers, as Martinsville with their 17th victory of the season. Now 17-9, the Pioneers drop to 8-18. This has been a student production of WREP 15 Sports. Students in the broadcasting program at Martinsville High School, the RTV program and RTV classes 1 and 2 responsible for producing the game here this evening. Those students were Elias Elsner and Braxton Dilley. For those students, along with Ryan Wagner, who joined me in the broadcast booth, I'm Eric Meyer. So long, everyone, from the John R. Wooden Gym. Martinsville winners in straight set here tonight over the Mooresville Pioneers, 3-0.